Welcome to this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week. My name is Adam Andrzejewski, and I'm the founder and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com. And you know our mission at Open the Books. Simply summarized, it's every dime online in real time. And to that end, last year we filed 40,000 Freedom of Information Act requests to open the books on nearly every single substantial public body in this entire country. This week we've got a great headline to talk to you about. And before we introduce the topic, I want to introduce my co-host, Tamara Colbert.
Good evening, Adam. It's a Thursday. Great Ripoff of the Week segment ahead. So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, today we are talking about the apparent conflict of interest between the U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland issuing the report to sic the FBI on parents who simply stand up at school board meetings and raise their voice, and then the apparent conflict of interest with his son-in-law, who co-founded and is a board member of an educational outfit that has a substantial and material footprint across America's schools.
So that's Panorama Education. Adam, explain a little bit about what they do. We know that they are surveys. That's what Open the Books has researched. What do those do? How much do those cost? Let's get it started right there.
From Panorama's press releases, they work in 23,000 American schools, and those schools serve 13 million American school children across all 50 states. They say in their press releases that they're in 1,500 school districts, including more than 50 of the top 100 largest school districts in the country. So this is a company that has reach. And what they do on primarily, their primary product is a survey. And at OpenTheBooks.com, our auditors found that it's an expensive survey. We took a look at just one of the contracts from 2017 in one of the school districts. It was a 5-year contract for just 3 surveys, where Panorama contract for nearly $300,000. They get to bill out hundreds of hours for up to $250 an hour. They get to bill out thousands of hours for up to $125 an hour. Now, the critics say, Tamara, that these surveys are the gateway drug that then brings in the solution to the school district's problems unearthed by the survey. And the solution that parents find objectionable, oftentimes, the district brings in critical race theory.
So name some of the states, Adam, so that we can share with our viewers here that actually hired Panorama Education to do their training and or surveys.
Well, for example, millions of dollars flowed from the state of Iowa and Texas and Florida. I mean, it's all 50 states. They have contracts in Wyoming, for crying out loud. Some of the biggest areas we found in the state of New York, where over $10 million over a 3-year period flowed in the state of New York. Just one school district in the state of Florida paid Panorama over $500,000 for their contract. I think it was $524,000 to survey their students over, I believe it was a 3-year period.
So how much taxpayer money are we talking to this point from you? I know that Open the Books investigated 2017 to 2020. How many, what is the taxpayer output there?
So if in our piece at Forbes, and we'll link to this in the chat, you can go to that piece and then you can click on one of the links. One of the links is to a survey of local school district payments by state across the country. And we've got 21 states in that database for $27 million.
That's unbelievable. Can you give us an example of the social and emotional climate survey that the Arlington, Virginia schools used? I know that's cited in this Forbes report.
Yeah. So in the Arlington survey, here's just a sample of 2 questions. Number one, how clearly do you see your culture and history reflected in your school? And here's another sample question. How often do you feel that you are treated poorly by other students because of your race, ethnicity, gender, family income, religion, disability, or sexual orientation? Now, I can tell you that the responses on that second question, because the results are posted online on the school district website, 67%, almost 7 out of 10 kids said that there wasn't a problem at all with people treating them poorly. But Tamara, that leaves a third of the kids, about 30%, that said in one way or another they were treated poorly by somebody, these teenagers at this school. So when that gets presented to the board, there has to be a solution. And what parents are saying across the country, that sometimes the solution then is to bring in what's called the curriculum that's critical race theory. The reason that you're not treated well is because America is systemically racist or other reasons along that vein.
And so that's why they're bringing, so the majority, a significant majority, we're talking about, if you're talking almost 7 in 10 kids, that's almost a 75% majority are saying we're okay, but they're still using that other little over 30% to get their foot in the door for critical race theory and some of these other controversial ideas about race and gender and all that, right?
Yes, we're just explaining the process on how this works. And that's why this is so important. So when the Attorney General raises the specter of the FBI versus parents who raise their voice against some of this curriculum, as a part of that entire process, is this company Panorama. And that's why critics have said, and it's been national news, that the Attorney General has a conflict here.
So Adam, what when we talk open the books, transparency push for open books for government, right? Can you explain what does that conflict look like when you've got the Attorney General of the United States basically writing a letter that says concerned parents are domestic terrorists, and his son-in-law is on the board and a part owner in seems to be one of the largest organizations putting through these kind of radical ideas?
So, not only is the son-in-law been involved in the founding of the company and sits on the board, but it's also people, they've gone through 2 capital raises, and we broke this news on a national basis. In 2017, they raised $16 million. As a part of that funding were pretty powerful big tech investors like Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan. And so then in the second raise, which was only a couple of weeks before the Attorney General made his directive to the FBI versus parents and school districts, they closed on a $60 million round. The Zuckerbergs were, again, part of that round as well.
So what can parents do? What can our viewers, this is a hot topic tonight. We can see there's a ton of comments right here. What would you encourage people to do?
Well, since the Attorney General raised the specter of the FBI versus parents at school board meetings, simply we have to exercise our rights. Go to the school board meeting and give public comment. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to do this, to exercise our rights at a school board meeting. If you don't know what to talk about, just go to openthebooks.com and search the pay and pensions of your local school district. There's a how-to video right on the homepage, and you've got the search bar where you can look up who by name makes how much money in your own school district across the entire country. Do that, give public comment, exercise your rights.
And you can always sign our transparency, what is it?
Pledge to urge Congress to read the bill. Tamara,
absolutely.
We don't have a representative republic if we simply if our representatives don't have time to read what they're voting on. So yes, while you're there, sign the petition across the top of the website. Just click on petitions and sign that petition to urge Congress to read the bill.
If you want to learn more about what we were talking about, we're going to put the link to Adam's Forbes article right here below this segment. And as always, you can go to openthebooks.com to learn even more. We've got current reports and all of our Forbes links, as well as some of Adam's recent television appearances. So Adam, last word to you before we close out today.
Well, thank you for attending this week's segment of the Ripoff of the Week.
We'll see you next Thursday, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central.